When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Absolutely, unequivocally, yes is the answer. Now, here is the host of The Long Bearded Guy, the Chief Catalyst, Strategist Guide at Jewel International, Gordon D. Melville.
Good afternoon, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I love you. Big hugs. You're with the Long Bearded Guy. That's Gordon D. Melville on Inspired Choices Network. And I want to get right into it today. We've got some very exciting stuff to talk about. So the topic today is Doctorate Morsels from HKU. And I'll explain that in a second. But I want to welcome everybody and deeply appreciate people reaching out. And our show today is about that. So I'm going to jump past that. Let's get after it. So I want to have a fun, lighthearted some comments and answers to some of the questions, because I've been asked a lot of questions. And so I pulled a few, a half a dozen or so out that I thought, you know what, these could be helpful for other people. So I pulled them out, and we're going to talk about, I'm going to answer them today for everybody so that we can all sort of learn from that. Very excited to be able, for you to be able to find me on Google TV and Apple TV. With the Inspired Choices Network, so the ICN logo. You can find it on your smart TVs and watch us and connect there. Please, if you're with us, like and love and share and subscribe to Inspired Choices Network, and jump into the chat. If you're with me, jump in the chat and we'll talk. So segment number one, we want to talk about, there's two questions that came here. The first one is from Sarah. And she asked, what is the best way to hug? Because I've referred to it on occasion that any hug is a great hug, first of all, but there are good ways and better ways to hug to be able to make them more impactful. And so the best way to hug, normally when we hug, and you watch people hug, you watch people in movies hug, you watch how people hug, usually you'll take your own head to the left of the person. And if you think about it, we watch people do it, typically they'll go to the left. It's just habit. I think the other thing is it's because that's the way we shake hands. We shake hands with the right. So you see guys do the macho thing where they grasp and bump shoulders, right, to try and be macho. But there's a better way to do that. And the better way is to take your head to the right side. So instead of going this way, you want to go this way. Why? Because once you're connected and hugging, you're now heart over heart. And if you understand how energy works, there's a transference of energy between the two of you because your hearts are connected. And if you don't, I have so many people that don't understand how energy works, and that we hug, and when they step away, they're like, wow, that was really amazing. Why was that such an amazing hug? There's two reasons. One of them is that we were heart to heart. And so that energy goes back and forth between us, and they can feel my energy and I can feel their energy. The second reason that's such a good hug is that I won't let go. 20 seconds, they say there's scientific, that's not a word, scientific provable studies show that if you hug somebody more than 20 seconds, then there's therapeutic properties. There's healing that happens between the two of you. Why? Because there's endorphins released in your bodies that lift your spirit and buoy you up and give you some encouragement. So it's the weirdest thing. I'll hug people, and then you can feel them kind of relax, like they're going to let go, and I just don't let go, and they're like, oh, a real hug, right out loud, a real hug. And I think that's indicative of our society, partly because of COVID recently. But more long term, I think a lot of people haven't had that kind of a hug since grandma or grandpa or parents or somebody at church or somebody that was really connected to them. And some people never had that kind of a hug ever. So they're not even sure what to do with it because it's just such a weird experience that they really enjoyed. That they want more of. And I've connected. I'm a huge hugger type person. So I hug everybody. And I open my arms and they'll reach into me and hug. And if they don't want to, they'll hold their fist up for a bump, or they'll whatever it is, elbows, or however they want to connect. So it's not forced on them, but it's certainly something that it's available to them if they want it. So that's the best way to hug, is to the right and for more than 20 seconds. Try that with people. You'll find it's very, very, very bonding. It's a very, very impactful, positively impactful situation. So thank you, Sarah, for that question. The next question is from Antoine, and he asks, what are the top 3 books you've ever read and would recommend to people? And I have a lot of trouble. I've been reading 5 to 7 books a month for more than 30 years. So I have a lot of trouble narrowing it down to just a couple. And so I started to write my answer to this question, and I put 3 out, and then, that wasn't enough. I needed some more. So I ended up with a half a dozen, 5 or 6. But number one, top one is my Bible. And then The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. Not Think and Grow Rich, which was the Reader's Digest condensed version of the original work. Law of Success is the original work. And if you want to understand how the game of life can be played or needs to be played to be successful, all the principles are in that book. All the principles can be in my Bible too, but in a practical 2022 verbiage. And I know it's an old book from turn of the century, 1936, 1937, but the principles are the same today. And you look at people, successful people, you can see those principles are borne out. So Law of Success, Napoleon Hill. Extreme Ownership is an incredible book. Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. They're retired SEALs, Navy SEALs, US SEALs. Incredible book, and really positively impacted me in terms of owning my own stuff, not being victim, not saying, no, it was them, it was the other person, it was that person, it was that person. No. Owning it myself, 100% extreme ownership. It's my fault. We are where we are in our lives because of the decisions we've made and the choices we made, whether they were good, bad, or otherwise, and whether we like it or not, or whether we want to admit that or not. That's the reality of it. So extreme ownership. The next one is 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, is John Maxwell. And anything John Maxwell is incredible. Absolutely incredible. You can't pick up a bad John Maxwell book. There just isn't one written. And he's written 40 or 50 or 60. He's written a lot of books. There just isn't a bad one. But that particular one, Laws of Growth, because growing intentionally is something that I really, really believe strongly in. Not just organically letting things happen, making things happen, putting myself out there and growing intentionally to make that personal development thing is a huge, huge, huge deal. And so putting myself out there. So that was a massive, very helpful book. Invaluable Law of Success. The Invaluable Laws of Growth. Pardon me. The next one is Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, and that's Darren Hardy. No, as far as I'm concerned, there shouldn't be nobody should be able to be an entrepreneur until they've read that book, because it's absolutely, he doesn't pull any punches, punch you right in the throat. These are the good things. These are the challenges. These are the things you got to look out for. Incredible. The other book that Darren wrote is Compound Effect. Also incredible for entrepreneurs. Incredible book. The next one for me was The One Thing, Gary Keller with Jay Pappson. The One Thing. It comes back to your why. It comes back to what your definite major purpose is. It comes back to what's the one thing that's really propelling you forward, that you need to be able to inspire yourself, get inspiration from, to motivate yourself. Very, very, very good book. And then the last one I've got on here, and I could go on and on and on and on and on about books, because I've got so many and read so many. The last one I've got on here is Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And if you've read any of Simon Sinek's stuff, he's incredible. But again, there it is again. The one thing, start with why. Start with that. That's the motivator underneath that you need, that we need to be able to wake up in the morning and go, I get to get up and do today. Not, I got to get up and go to work. If you're in that space, you're in the wrong space. You need to change your space, because you're not happy in that space anymore. If you don't get up and feel energized, and that's why I tell people, find what lights you up, what you get passionate about. What are you passionate about? And then find a way to monetize that. If that's not an industry on its own currently, perfect. That's a blue ocean environment, in which case you don't have to compete with anybody because no one else is doing it. That's awesome. If there's other people in your market, you still want blue ocean, right? The concept of blue to red in a red ocean for sometimes in certain industries, for me to get better, to grow or to expand my business, I have to take it from other people. Then there's blood in the water, right? I'm taking it from somebody else. I'm taking a bite of somebody else. You want blue ocean. You want to create your own environment. The best illustration I know for that is Cirque du Soleil. And the gentleman that generated that or founded that originally, he loved circus, which was dying, right? Barnum and Bailey was kind of going away, and he loved live theater, but it was so expensive. It was hard for families to go. And so initially when he pulled those two things together and created Cirque du Soleil, a little bit of live theater with some circus acts and circus stuff, he created his own blue ocean. There was nobody else doing that. So he could charge what he wanted. He could make the rules whatever he wanted them to be. That's blue ocean. So trying to find your blue ocean concept in your industry will help, because you're not competing with anybody else. Then charge what you want, make the rules for that environment, for that niche or for that micro niche on your own. So that's a why. That's the underlying piece that says, look, why am I doing what I'm doing? What's inspiring me to do what I'm doing? What is my why? What's my definite major purpose? We're going to talk about that in another segment, but what's the reason I'm doing it? And a lot of times people don't typically get inspired to follow people if they're only interested in growing themselves. If it's something if that passion is, I want to be rich, or I want to have accolade, or I want to be a celebrity, or I want to be people, that doesn't bring people to you. That doesn't attract people to you, because it doesn't help them. It doesn't inspire them in the sense outside of your own family sometimes, and even then sometimes not. But that inspiration that we need to get us to that place where we go, no, I want people to follow. I need to expand. I need to grow myself. I need to grow my business. Blue ocean will help, and understanding your why will help, because that'll keep you focused. It'll keep you motivated and inspired in the right direction. So I'm hoping those two questions are helpful, and that information is helpful. Like I said, I found a couple questions, a few questions that I'm hoping other people will resonate with, and that it will be helpful for everybody. So where am I here? I need to do a quick commercial break, but first I want to do a quick shout out to my good brother Jose Escobar, who is the founder and CEO of the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf. Check out the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf to learn more about the morning and evening routine mastery program that's changing people's lives. Incredible. Again, goes back to your motivation and why, right? Why are you doing what you're doing? This program will help you install systems on the bookends of your day to maximize your morning and evening routine. Habits that are success habits happen regularly, and they don't happen by accident. It happens by doing. So set up your free strategy session with Jose Escobar today. And the second shout out I want to do is to Kat Schwarz, owner and founder at Compassionate Healing Services. She's one of my founding sponsor partners. Kat Schwarz is the founder and CEO of a groundbreaking company called Compassionate Healing Services, and offers a completely unique approach to treating physical and mental health challenges. Check her out on Instagram at Compassionate Healing Services, or email her at info@compassionatehealingservices.com. Very, 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 very thankful for my sponsors, for my founding sponsors, especially my partners. I can't do this without them. So I want to put that out there. We're going to go to a quick break. You're with the long-bearded guy. That's Gordon D. Melville. That's me on Inspired Choices Network. Be right back. Don't go anywhere.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville, The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D. Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Long-Bearded Guy with Gordon D. Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey, everybody. Thank you. Welcome back. Well, let's keep going. So Noor sent me a question that says, why do you believe and teach everyone should have at least one coach? Great question. This is something that a lot of people struggle with because they go, oh, I can't afford that. Or, why would I need to have somebody do that for me? I already have it. I have it good already. And we allow good to become the enemy of great. We can't see our own blind spots. And we look up to all these people these sports people or business people, or sports is a good example of that, a really, really, really good example, because athletes have a head coach, an assistant coach, a nutrition coach, and somebody that limbers them up, and somebody that limbers them down, and somebody that cools them off, and somebody that they have lots and lots of coaches for lots of different things. And we look up to them and go, wow, why are they successful? Part of the reason they're successful is because they have coaches that are helping them find their blind spots and helping them improve in certain specific areas of their life. And whether you're an entrepreneur or not, whether you're a business person or not, if you're a business person or an entrepreneur and you don't have a coach, that's a problem, because you're not seeing the bits and pieces you need to see. The blind spots are there. We all have them. And that's not a knock on any of us. That's just the reality of it. We have blind spots. We're not islands. We need help. And so reaching out to somebody and saying, hey, that you resonate with and that you connect with, right? There's lots of coaches, lots and lots of coaches on lots of different niches. So some of the high performance coaching like me with mindset and energy work and accountability and that kind of thing. Some people are health advocate type coaches that look at your nutrition and look at your exercise and your health. There's people around everything. Pick a niche. There's people somewhere out there to help you. If you have a problem with social media, there's people to help. If you have a challenge, not problem, but challenge. If you have a challenge with relationships, there's a relational coach. If you have challenges with love, there's love coach. There's coaches, financial coaches. There's lots of coaches, and we need to plug into that. And people go, oh, I can't afford. And I run in a different direction and go, you can't afford not to. You can't afford not to have a coach. Why? Because it's cost, whether you understand that or realize that or even admit that or not having a coach is costing you. It's costing you. People say, oh, education is expensive. Try stupidity. Try not knowing, right? People, when I was in the financial world, people go, oh, I use TurboTax and it's, $40, $39.99 and I get it done. Nice and inexpensive. I can do it myself. It's all good. And I'm like, great. Have you any idea? In the last year I was in that world, I would say to people, ask them, hey, that's great. I appreciate that you're doing that yourself to save some dough. I get it. I appreciate that for sure. Do you know how many changes there were to the tax law just this year? And they would go, well, no, I don't pay. Exactly. You don't pay attention to that. 486. The last year I was in the financial world, 486 changes to the tax code for just that 1 year. Some of that was business related. Some of that was person related. The point is, did you read them all? Do you know what they're about? So when you put your information into a, and no knock on TurboTax or anybody else, don't send me emails and go, hey, all I'm saying is to have a $39 tax return by a machine, and it's going to tell you where to put the information for sure, but it's not going to tell you, hey, do you realize if you put this over here, it'll trigger a tax return and a tax benefit over here of $3,700? All of a sudden, $39.99 is really expensive. Why? Because it costs you almost $4,000. So going to a pro to get the information, does it cost a little more? Yeah, you're 60, 70, 80 bucks, $100 for a personal tax return. But if it's done by somebody that knows and keeps up with all that stuff, then you know when they finish, hey, they've used all the different avenues that are available to me. I've got the best tax return that I can get. And so, and save me. And if there's caveats, great. He'll find them or she'll find them. They'll find them, right? So sometimes it's a matter of, do I want a coach? Yes, I need somebody to help me. We all need someone to help. I have 3 currently. And does it cost? Yes, it costs, but it's investment in myself. When they asked Warren Buffett, what's the best investment you ever made? Everybody was expecting, Apple or Google or Amazon or whatever. And he was like, no, the best investment I ever made was in me. That's an investment in yourself. Coach is an investment in yourself. So thank you, Noor. I appreciate you asking that question. Really, really important. I'm hoping people pick that up and understand they need a coach. The next question is from Kevin, and he asked, how do goals work? Because a lot of us are big goal people. Well, I've been doing goals and writing goals for more than 30 years. Goals, we focus on goals. What I learned from reading one of their books and studying the law of success is that goals is only the first step. Goals is actually the last step. If you reverse engineer it, you start with your vision. What's your vision for your life? Where do you want to end up eventually? What's the legacy you want to leave behind? That's where it starts. And once you have that crystal clear and written down, not just in your head, it's written out. Businesses have mission statements, right? Businesses have vision statements. Why? Because it holds everybody into this is where we're headed. That's inspiring, not just for the people in the company, but for customers and clients too. You want to have that for yourself. What's your vision for your life? What's your vision for your business? But certainly for your life, you need to know, what is the legacy? Sit down. It's a wonderful exercise to sit down and write your own eulogy. It's a little bit morbid, a little bit dark. What do you want people to say about you when you're not here anymore? Legacy. Very, very, very important, because once that becomes clear, it becomes way easy to back that up and go, okay, so that's my legacy. That's my vision for my life. What's my definite major purpose? What's my why? That definite major purpose is I'm going to use that as a vehicle to get to my vision, or at least one step to get to my vision. And so again, you're going to reverse engineer. You're going to sit down and go, okay, so what's my definite major purpose? What is it I'm going to be and become to be able to achieve my vision? What vehicles am I going to use? And when I say that, I don't mean cars and trucks and minivans and whatnot. I'm talking, what plan am I setting out to achieve my vision? Because it's important. Once again, write it down. And once I have that, I've got a crystal clear vision written out. I've got a crystal clear definite major purpose. My why is written out. It makes it ridiculously easy to come up with what the goals are. Why? Because the goals are the mini steps it takes to get to the definite major purpose, to achieve the definite major purpose. And once I've achieved the definite major purpose, I change the definite major purpose, move it ahead. It's like going up a staircase that's a circular staircase, so I can only see part of the way up. And so I take the steps I can that I can see, and I go up. But as I go up, I can see a little further. And as I go up a little further, I can see a little further. And I go up a little further, I can see a little further. Once I hit the top of the mountaintop, guess what I can see? Other higher mountains, other challenges. I can see, look, I can go there. but I can't see that from a valley. I can see the one mountain, but I can't see all the mountaintops. I can only see the one I'm trying to get up. So I need better vision. I want a clear vision. How do I get that? By doing a definite major purpose, a DMP. And then so you want to write them out, but not just write out goals. It's not just about writing them out. What I learned again over time, and when we know better, we do better, right? When we understand it better, we'll do better. And so writing them out is great. Writing them out twice a day is fabulous. Better than not writing them out for sure. And we'll get there. It'll take a little longer. One quick life hack in terms of goal hack, in terms of getting there quicker. Say them out loud as you write them down. So you're writing them down in present tense. You're not going, I will have, or this is what I will be. You're saying, I do have. I already have achieved. I talk to and teach millions of people. I have impacted in a meaningful way more than 10 million men in the last 24 months. It's in present tense. Why? People go, oh, I'm lying to myself. No, what you're doing is putting that out there to the universe and putting that out there to your mind. Because when you do that and regularly do that, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, when you're a little bit not quite awake, not quite asleep, it pushes it into your subconscious. And then your subconscious spends the day or the night behind the scenes, and while you're sleeping or while you're going about your day, trying to because your brain and your mind goes, hey, that's not true. That's not right. That's not, he's saying that in present tense. She's saying that in present tense, but that's not accurate right now. How do we make it accurate? And it finds ways, and things start to you become aware of things that will help you get to where you want to go. But that has to come as a vibration. There's no vibration off a pen or a pencil as you write, but there is off of your voice when you say it out loud. And those vibrations go out into the universe, and the universe, Papa, the infinite intelligence, conspires in a good way to help you get what it is you're looking for. So I hope that helps. I hope that gets you to a space that says, hey, you know what? This will help me achieve my goals. Why is it not happening? Why can I not get to the goal? I can't seem to achieve it. There's a bunch of reasons for that, a few reasons for that. One is worth and value. One is not knowing your why. And one is not having clear vision, clear written out, definite major purpose, and goals that are in alignment with who you are and who you want to become. I'm hoping that helps. Goals is a huge deal. How do we achieve that stuff? Because we want to be able to touch on and get to those things day to day to day to day, because that encourages us, that pushes us forward. We're inspiring ourselves to motivate ourselves to keep in the game, and to be able to wake up and go, I get to get up and go do my stuff today. I get to. Papa's blessed me with another day. Universe has blessed me with another day, or at least part of a day, some amount of a day to get up and to move forward. So I challenge you, have a definite major purpose, have a clear vision written out, and then align your goals with what your purpose is. We need to pay some more bills here. While we're in this break, I want you to think. My brother Austin Haynes talks about pausing and breathing. Pause and breathe. Pause and breathe. And what I want you to focus on for this short break is being, resting, and connecting yourself to your joy deep inside, not your happiness experientially. That deep joy that's down deep inside of all of us that we all have, that sometimes we struggle to connect with. So during this break, pause and breathe. Be connected to yourself. Be joy. And just rest through this commercial. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville, on Inspired Choices Network. Don't go away.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D. Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Long-Bearded Guy with Gordon D. Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sticking with me. Segment number 3, and I write this one down a little different. So Valerie had reached out and asked, what are some components of self-care you think are advantageous? Great question. Sometimes it's different for everybody. Sometimes it's the same. Some components I think are the same. So I had written down a few here, components of self-care that are sort of universal. Yours, you can augment and change as you need to, but there's some that are kind of universal. Sleep, for instance, resting is kind of universal. We all need a certain amount of sleep. Now, I've heard 6 to 8 hours. I've heard some people say they need more. Some people say they need less. Some doctors have said they need more. Some doctors say they need less. I think that's a personal thing for each of us. Hey, how much sleep do you need to be fully rested and work at your optimal level? And if you're not getting that rest, I know people that have the CPAP machines that because they're not getting enough rest. I think people aren't sleeping well at night. They're not fully resting, and that's when your body is recharging. That's when your body is recovering from the day. And if we don't rest deeply and have enough REM, we're not healing ourselves, and then we wonder why we're lethargic and can't find our energy. Why? Because we're not sleeping well. So that's a big one. Eating healthy, eating clean. I'm not saying we only live once. Eat the cookie, have the cake. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying more clean, right? Instead of going for the the fast food, find organic food, real food, stuff that we make ourselves, stuff that's home cooked, that went into it. You know what level of sodium went in. You know what amount of sugar went into it. You know what the carbs are. You know what you've put it together yourself. You know exactly what's in it. So eating healthy. It doesn't mean salads all the time. It just means eating clean, and the effort is there to eat more clean. That's an investment in yourself. So is the sleep. Exercise is a universal one, and it doesn't have to be going to the gym and lifting weights and what. It doesn't have to be. It can be. There's nothing wrong with that. But even something as simple as a walk. They say if you walk, is one of the most highly discounted exercises in terms of getting your body going, because there's endorphins that come out. There's things that help you and help you focus and ground you. And there's bits and pieces. So go for a walk. Take your significant other or your pet or whatever. Go for a walk. Be careful you take certain pets for a walk. Cats is kind of a weird thing. You can't take your toucan for a walk, but you know what I'm saying. Meditation is, again, a very undervalued thing that makes a monster difference. Growing up in a religious space, They used to look, oh, that's new age. That's not good. That's prayer. Meditation is prayer. Mom used to say, Gord, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in proportion. Even when we pray, we're Papa, thank you for this and thank you for this. Oh, by the way, I need this and this and this and this. Thank you in your name, amen. And then we move on with our life, and Papa sits there going, okay, wait. If universe, universal intelligence, however you see your higher power, it's okay. Gratitude is great. You need to do that. That's an important piece of that. Letting them know what you need is an important piece of that. But then stop and wait for them to answer. Be still and know. We're not still often enough. And meditation, there's lots of, again, coaches that can teach meditation. I know a bunch of people that are really good meditation coaches. And to be in the space, people go, oh, my mind runs all over the place. My mind's just all over the place. I can't sort of stop. Great. You find a quiet place, a quiet corner of your house, put earbuds in if you have to. Put some kind of a meditational, no words, that calming meditation type music. Put it in your ears and then focus on the music. Listen to the notes. I do a lot of visualization when I meditate, where I'm looking and visualizing my vision. I'm visualizing my definite major purpose. What does that look like? What does it smell like? How does it feel? And I make it as real as I can. I know somebody that was like, Gord, I used to hold house parties in my mind while I was meditating in my dream home that wasn't there yet. She lives in it now. The more real you can make it, connect your senses to that. You're seeing it, you're hearing it, you're smelling it, you're tasting it. What does that look like? As real as you can. It gives you something to focus on when you're meditating. I challenge you, find a really good meditation, find a good a coach for that, find a group that does that. I know a bunch of them. Find somebody that can help you do that. Really, really important. Journaling. I've talked about it lots. You all know I'm a avid fan of writing stuff down. Every day, writing stuff down. Why? Because it's releasing some of that information from inside of me. It's getting stuff out. It's allowing me to be me. It's allowing release of stress and anxiety and depression and tension and some of the things in my life. And sometimes it's a celebration when I'm writing in my book, right? Sometimes it's this is awesome. Look what happened. I was blessed and this happened and that happened. I had all these wonderful things happen today. So you keep a note of it. Why? Because we forget. We want to, but we forget. We used to do a thing with our kids where once a week on Sunday night, we would sit down and write something. Each of us would have to write something on the same piece of paper that was a blessing or a miracle or something that was really positive in our life that week. And we put it in a jar. And then on New Year's Eve, after, while we're waiting to, we would do movies, we would do food, we do lots of things. But one thing we would do is dump that jar out on the floor and then just read through them. You go, oh, I completely forgot that happened. Oh, that was awesome. And we can relive it again. It's being intentional about how we do that. Journaling, breathing exercises, cold ice baths and showers and things like that, whatever it is. And it's not a matter of doing self-care instead of your responsibilities with your family and with your colleagues and with your clients. It's not instead of, it's as well as. It's looking after you so you don't slide sideways in the middle of everything. That's what happened to me. 2015, my why was my family. I'm looking after my family. I'm trying to look after my family, but my why, I was pushing without doing any self-care. And eventually my why, I was using my why as the reason I wasn't doing the self-care. I don't have time to do that. I'm looking after my family. And then my body said, hey, I'm out. I don't want to do that anymore. And I'm a walking, talking billboard for doing self-care. It's selfish not to look after yourself first. So if you're used to getting up at 6 o'clock, you need to get up at 5 o'clock. If you're used to getting up at 5 o'clock, you get up at 4 o'clock. And it doesn't back up and back up. My point is, it's not taking time away from the rest of your responsibilities or away from your family or your kids or your wife or your job. No, you're not taking time away from any of them. You're finding and manufacturing time to look after you first. so that you can show up 100% authentically the way you want to show up for the people in your life. I hope that answers that question. What are the components, Valerie? I'm hoping that helps, and I'm hoping somebody else learns from that. The next question I want to talk about real quick came from Arvella. Thank you so much, Arvella. Appreciate you. She asks, who are you still learning from today? Who are your mentors? And again, great question, right? We're always learning. We need to always be learning. In the car business, they used to say, if you stopped learning, you'd stop earning. If we stop learning, and again, we talked about this on last week's show. Go back and listen to it. It's amazing. But the concept of people are eager to learn, not necessarily eager to change. The whole concept of knowledge is power. No, it's not. I can know everything about everything, but if it doesn't impact my life and I don't use any of it, I might as well not know any of it. Applied knowledge is power. Ultimate power. Why? Because I know it, and then I have the ability to use it. So I can't get that without doing a massive amount of reading. Who are people that inspire me at the moment? Who are my coaches? Who are the people that I'm looking up to? There's so many people that pour into me. And because of my background and because of things that I've plugged into, people like Jim Rohn still, I was listening to him last week, and there was some stuff I heard. I was like, dang, I've listened to that recording over and over and over and over and over, but I heard something different. Why? I challenge you, revisit some of the books you've read, some of the things you've listened to. Why? Because I was in a different place. I've grown since the last time that I listened to that stuff or read that book. I've grown. I'm a different person when I go and do it again. So I go back. Jim Rohn, John Maxwell, Tony Robbins, Les Brown. I listen to all of them. They all pour into me. Napoleon Hill. I keep reading. I've got a stack of his stuff here. And I just keep going back and reading and going back and reading and going back and reading. This is a book that was sent to me, or that not sent to me, I went and bought, but was recommended. The Myth of Normal. So there's no such thing as normal. Trauma, illness, and healing in a toxic culture. I'm always learning. I'm always finding mentors. My coaches pour into me. I heard something this morning on one of the masterminds I'm in that really resonated with me. So thank you, Julia. I appreciate the pouring in. And what she said was, you can't pour from an empty cup, but others need to drink from the overflow. Wow. Wow. I can't pour from an empty cup. That's something we've said for a long time, and I resonate with that. That means you need to fill up your cup. But others drink from your overflow. You don't allow them to empty the cup. Boundaries. And always filling the cup, always filling the cup, always filling the cup. I hope that helps. And thank you, Arvella. Really, really, really appreciate the questions. Thank you for the questions. We'll talk about some other things and wrap some stuff up in a minute. I want to go back just before we take a quick break. I need to do a shout out to Kat Schwartz. My founding sponsor partner, Kat Schwartz, is the founder and CEO of a groundbreaking company called Compassionate Healing Services. If you email info@compassionatehealingservices.com and mention the long-bearded guy, you'll receive 20% off one of her services. That's $100 savings off Kat's most unique offering, which is spiritual private investigation services, where Kat will use her skills as an evidential medium to reconnect you with a loved one who crossed over and provide proof of their continued presence in your life. Email her at info@compassionatehealingservices.com. Thank you for that, Kat. Really, really appreciate that. And the second one is to my brother, Jose Escobar, is the founder and CEO of the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf. Check out the Connected Leaders Academy membership. Absolutely incredible. Member myself. Amazing. To take your business to the next level, this is the perfect tribe to learn, grow, and connect like never before. The Connected Leaders Academy tribe brings together some of the highest level entrepreneurs from all over the world. Set up a virtual coffee with Jose Escobar today, and you can reach him at www.theentrepreneur'sbookshelf.com. And again, thank you so much to all of my sponsors, especially my founding sponsor partners. They've made this possible, and I appreciate them and love them so much. And I've got some more openings. If you want to join that group, you want to join part of my sponsorship, and you believe in me, you believe in the message of getting it out there, you know what? Reach out to me, thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com, and we'll connect. And you can. I invite you to be participant and a sponsor. So we're going to take a quick break. Again, don't forget to pause and breathe. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville, on Inspired Choices Network.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D. Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is the Long-Bearded Guy with Gordon D. Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you for sticking with this segment number 4. We're getting there. The hour goes so fast, so quick. Keep that in mind, by the way. We think sometimes time's really slow. We're sitting in a situation where we're like, oh, time just never ends. Remember sitting in school and you're watching the clock and you look up and it's 5 to 3 and you look down and you're like, okay, and it seems to be forever. And you look up and it's 3 o'clock and you're like, what the heck? The best definition of time that I heard, relativity that I heard, was in a movie, oddly enough. And the one gentleman says, you know what? I went to MIT and that's the best definition of time I've ever heard. And this cook says, you experience time in a weird way. If you put your hand on a hot stove, a second can seem like an hour. But if you put your hands on a hot woman, an hour can seem like a second. And but we all do that. We all have that kind of. We go on vacation and it's gone. Boom. What happened? When we're at work, it takes forever and ever and ever. And when we go on vacation, boom, it's gone. We work through the week and we get to the weekend. Boom. Next thing you know, it's Monday morning. Well, what happened to my weekend? Why did time seems to speed up on the weekend, or when we're on vacation, or when we're enjoying ourselves, time seems to go faster? Why is that? Good question. Because time's a construct. We all have the same 24 hours in every day. We all have 86,400 seconds in a day. How does Richard Branson run more than 400 companies? Tony Robbins runs more than 100 companies. Where do we find time to read 5 to 7 books a month and journal in 5 journals every day? It's the same 24 hours everybody has. What are we doing with those 24 hours? Sometimes we think we're busy, and I'm not saying we're not. We're all really busy. One of the exercises I do with athletes is to sit them down and go, okay, so I want you to justify and write down, account for, not justify, but account for every second of every day for 2 weeks. Literally every second. If you're in the restroom for 3 minutes, You're going to put it on. I was in the restroom for 3 minutes. I don't need to know the details of what happened, but you need to tell them, hey, you need to account for those 2 or 3 minutes. And when they look at it at the end of 2 weeks, they look at it and go, wow, you know what? I'm not maximizing my time at all. I waste a lot of time. And I think we all do, not because we want to, and not because that's what we're looking to do, but because we don't know how to maximize. Doing a morning and evening routine with Jose, great idea. That will help maximize. Blocking out your week will help maximize. There's a lot of things. So what I want you to do, your action idea, your action concept, your call to action this week is, what's your favorite personal development book? Send it to me. What's your most important self-care component? Email me, thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Favorite book, and what's your most important, what's your most impactful for you self-care component? What are you doing for yourself? Email me. Thank you for the emails that have come. Again, more than 1,600 people have reached out. I'm wildly humbled, and I'm very thankful that people are engaging with me. That's what this is about. It's engagement. Share this video. Share the audio, share the podcast, share it with people. Why? Because the more people we can expand to, the more people we can help. I think there's a lot of people struggling at the moment in the world that need and want and are yearning for some kind of hope. They're yearning for some kind of help. It's not a matter of saying, hey, go do self-care because we know it's important. They go, great, what do I do? What does that what are components of self-care? What do I do for that? They don't know some of them don't know. Most of them, lots of them don't know. So the education is a huge piece. Help me get the message out, whether you're doing it by sharing the video, the audio, or you want to come on as a sponsor, however you want to help. Just engage. Please, I beg people, engage. And watch very, very soon for our Long Bearded Guy Facebook group. It's coming soon. I'm just working on that, for ironing out the last part of the details of that. So that'll be fun. We'll build community where we can talk and interact and in more real time, have an interaction and build community. So I'm really looking forward to that. So watch for that. It's coming. Next week is Friday, October 7th. I'm back at noon. That's 12 noon, between 12 and 1 Eastern Standard Time. And we'll get together and spend some more time together for the regular show. I stumbled a little bit today. I was so humbled by the number of people that have reached out and asked questions, that have made comments that are, it helps inspire me to motivate myself. We wake up and go, what do I have to do? What's the next step? What is the next? I need to grow and expand. What's it going to be? How does that work? How do I get to my vision? How do I get to my definite major purpose? What are self-care pieces that I need to focus on that need to become a must, not just a kind of would like to? If we don't do it, if we don't make that investment in ourselves, we're robbing ourselves, quite frankly, of the abundant life we were meant to have, to live that abundance in every area, not just finances, socially and spiritually and all these different ways. We need to be living abundantly. How much happier would that make things? Now, I think the caveat to that is, if we're really happy and everything's doing well and we're engaged and we're going and going, life will go even quicker, right? Because we're happy. We're in a positive space. We want to live in that positive, abundant space, which will make positive impact on the people around us. Remember, you're making an impact on people, whether you realize it or not, for positive or negative, without realizing even. Be aware of what you're leaving behind yourself. What's the energy you're putting out? Is it positive or is it negative? Make it another great week. I love you. Massive, massive hugs. I live abundantly and with intention. And I'll see you next week. I love you. Big hugs. Talk to you soon. See you then. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning into the Long Bearded Guy Show. You are appreciated and loved. Gordon D. Melville returns Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on the InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, make it another great week, leading with love, powerfully designing, crafting, and living out your positively impactful legacy life you were created for. Big hugs!